Fellas, AC here. Welcome to the Grand Countdown. Every designer release that I've smelled this year is ranked in this video of all releases of 2018, barring two. So I haven't smelled Versace Eros Flame, and I haven't smelled Diesel Street, or whatever it's called, Fuel for Life Street. I haven't smelled that one. So, barring those two, there are 21 fragrances in this list. Now, before I carry on, scent of the day. Scent of the day is Guerlain Shalimar Eau de Parfum Vintage. This is one of the greatest fragrances ever created. Very special fragrance, and I feel pretty special today. That's why I put this on. Amazing, amazing fragrance. I'm going to do a full review very soon. So, the trends for 2018. Now, the trend of Tonka still exists. So last year it was Tonka. This year as well, there are a few fragrances with Tonka, but there's a new trend, and that is around cinnamon, and the other one is Ambroxan. Now, Ambroxan, I'm not a big fan of Ambroxan, but it tends to get you reactions from the ladies. So, excuse me, it's a trend, it's a healthy trend, I suppose. But I'm not a big fan of Ambroxan because most Ambroxan-based fragrances smell very synthetic. That brings me to the third trend. Most of these fragrances that I'm going to show you, most of them smell synthetic. And I would love to see a designer fragrance come up with a composition which smells natural. That's how things used to be. You know, go back 10, 15 years, some of their compositions, used to smell natural, in spite of using aroma chemicals. So it would be a nice thing to see. But anyways, let's start. So, starting at number 21 is a fragrance by Bulgari, and it is Bulgari Oud Essence. Again, synthetic Ambroxan-based composition. It says it's got cypress, wood, and benzoin, vanilla-like smell. But I don't get any cedar. All I get is a synthetic Ambroxan with some vanilla-like smell and some aquatic notes, fruity aquatic notes. So it's basically trying to do the Invictus thingy, but then Invictus is already there and it's not very expensive. Plus, the Bulgari Man line is a fabulous line. This one is a dark sheep of the family, if you like. It doesn't do anything, amazing. So that's why, and when you've got so many options in a single year, why would you care about something that smells so synthetic, and so familiar? So that's why it's right at the bottom of the list. The next one is another such fragrance. It's Acqua di Gio Absolute. And the Acqua di Gio is such a well-known, well-respected, it's been there for about 3 decades. Why did they have to do something which emulates Invictus Aqua? Yeah. So if you look at the notes breakdown, it's got woody notes, aquatic notes, fruity notes. All it's trying to do is this sweet, synthetic, aquatic smell, which has already been done, and it's very successful. So trying to do an Invictus Aqua thing, that's why it's right at the bottom. Nothing special. Almost forgettable. So it's not a bad scent, but nothing special. When you got so many options, you don't really care about such fragrances. Next on the list is a flanker. Salvatore Ferragamo Woma Signature. I'll tell you one thing though. Signature means it's going to be something special. It's nothing special. It does the same old coffee leather Tonka thingy, Tonka based fragrance. The initial fragrance Woma is a fantastic tiramisu sweet fragrance. This is reduced sweetness, but nothing special. If you already have Woma in your collection, you're not going to miss this one. Insignificant, really. So that's number 19 in the list. Excuse me. Next on the list is an Azzaro Wanted by Night. This is number 18. This is a tobacco, orange, cinnamon scent. Now, if you compare this is an EDP. If you compare this to the original Wanted, which is an EDT, this one lasts lesser, which surprised me. And it is a poorer composition, if you like. Why? Because the cinnamon note is not blended well with the rest of the composition. So I think this is a rushed release where the cinnamon just hovers over the rest of the composition like a ghost. Yeah, nothing special here. In fact, Excuse me. In fact, the original Wanted is a much better clubbing scent. If you're looking for a decent, smooth operator-like scent, go for Wanted. Wanted is a much nicer scent, much better performance, and it just smells quality. Yeah, this one, nothing special. Okay, number 17 on the list is a Hugo Boss, the scent flanker called Private Accord. This is a good scent. It smells like a dark fruit chocolate. Yeah, dark chocolate with fruits. It's a beautiful composition. The only problem is the performance. It becomes a skin scent in about an hour, and after that it's just pretty lackluster. But the first hour or so is a brilliant scent. It lasts for a long time, whereas the skin scent doesn't project. I'll pick that up later on. So next on the list is a Prada. Prada Luna Rossa Black. Now, Prada Luna Rossa Black is a weird one because when it starts off, it's pretty uninspiring. It smells like black pepper mixed in milk with a metallic undertone. It's really awful when you first spray this. It dries down to something good. It dries down to a soapy patchouli with Angelica, herbal soapy patchouli scent. So dry down is pretty good, but you'll have to brave about 1.5 hours of opening, which is pretty rank. So that's why it's so low in the list. Number 16, I respect Prada fragrances, not this one. Next on the list is a Guerlain, number 15. It is Ideal Low Intense. This one is interesting. When it starts off, it's got a lot of smokiness and pepper, and then it cuts off the cherry and still keeps the vanilla and almond combination of Ideal EDP. So it's more smoky and peppery version of the Ideal. But the problem is it becomes a skin scent within an hour, and then it just doesn't redeem itself. Yeah. So initially pretty good, but then it becomes very lackluster. I think you should stick with your Ideal EDP, which is a very good cherry vanilla combination, and it's got decent performance and it's a decent scent. Number 14 on the list is a flanker again. It is Dolce & Gabbana The One Grey. Now I like this one. The reason I like this one is it is an ambroxan based fragrance, but it introduces a very nice aromatic dry cardamom, which is a great twist on the original tobacco based beautiful EDT. So this one, I've done a full review, check it out. In my opinion, this is a very friendly, affable, amicable fragrance, which is great for daytime office wear. Very professional vibe. I like this one. It's got decent performance, nothing extraordinary, it's not a groundbreaking scent, but it's a very good fragrance. I quite like it. Next on the list is a fragrance which I quite like. It is by Coach and it's called Platinum. Now this one is decent. Okay, when it starts off is when it's at its very best. So it uses cashmerean and it uses pineapple. It's basically an ambroxan based fragrance with a very amped up pineapple and cashmerean. Now cashmerean makes the fragrance silky smooth. But the dry down is when it lets you down, because it starts to do the vanilla based Sauvage EDP like thingy. It's not a bad scent, but it could have carried on doing what it was doing at the start, which is a beautiful pineapple, fruity, silky smooth smell. With juniper. Juniper is very interestingly done. So I quite like this fragrance, but I just feel that could have been better. Number 13, Coach Platinum. Okay, so next on the list, number 12 is a new release. It's not a flanker. It is by Noogler, and it is Alien. Good one. Very good fragrance. So, what does it do? It's basically a woody, silky smooth ambroxan based fragrance. It uses cashmere wood and cashmerean together. So it's a woody, silky smell, quite beautifully done. And it's got this creamy texture, which makes it very attractive. So woody, creamy, silky kind of a smell. The problem is, if you were to expect this to have the characteristics of the original Alien for women, then you would be disappointed, because you would go searching for the jasmine. There's no jasmine here. But if you remove all those sort of preconceived notions, this is a beautiful, all-weather, daytime, evening time, sort of a attention grabber, a beautiful attention grabber. I quite like this. I'll do a full review soon. Excellent for people who are looking for reaction. It will go very well for younger people. So that was Noogler Alien. Excuse me. The next on my list is a flanker. Now this one is called Terre d'Hermès Eau Intense Vetiver. Good one. Now what it does is, I don't like Terre d'Hermès, but this one introduces a very sharp, peppery vetiver. Vetiver is earthy and woody, and it introduces a beautiful bergamot. Yeah, I don't like the opening, but I really love the dry down. I'm going to do a full review at number 11, Terre d'Hermès Eau Intense Vetiver. So we are on to the top 10 of 2018. So at number 10 is a flanker to the ever so popular Dior Sauvage EDP. Excuse me. This is Dior Sauvage EDP. Interesting. Why? Because this is, and again, a blue scent, ambroxan based fragrance, but what they've done is they've added an element of depth through spices. I get a licorice-like vibe, but I think this has got anise, and they've got some beautiful vanilla-like note, maybe even vanilla, I can't remember. So it's got this vanillic, licoricey smell along with the Sauvage DNA. So it's slightly more mature, slightly more grown up, a bit more gravity to the original Sauvage. Not many people have liked this. I enjoy it, and it's a decent release. It's slightly grown up Sauvage, still has that sex appeal. If you have a small collection, I think you could have both the EDT and the EDP, and you can easily wear EDP to a date. I don't know whether you could wear Sauvage EDT to a first date, because it's so popular you would just not stand out. So I think this is a good release, and it deserves a place in the top 10 in my view. The next one is a fragrance that doesn't get a lot of talk, and it is number 9, Azzaro, and I always forget the name. It is Amber Fever. Now this one caught me by surprise. Why? Because Amber Fever uses only 3 notes. Yeah, so it uses amber, dark chocolate and sage, but actually when you smell it you get a lot of complexity. It smells like a warm, chocolatey, woody, amber-based scent with a deep spiciness to it, which is more than sage. This probably is one of the most complex nighttime fragrances that has been released this year. And as you know, Azzaro don't do weak fragrances, so the performance on this one is quite phenomenal. So if you're on a night out and if you want to go for a fragrance that lasts you for about 8 hours and projects for about 4, this one, Amber Fever, is a good option. Yeah. So number 8 is a flanker, and it is one of the most complex releases this year, and that is Cartier Declaration Parfum. This is good. Okay, so the cinnamon, the cumin note is still here. So the body odor smell that used to be there in Declaration is still here. And the cardamom note is a little bit different. It is less aquatic, but, it still introduces a note of Tolu balsam. And Tolu balsam is quite a complex floral woody smell, which is balsamic. So this fragrance has got this creamy, silky and sour or tart characteristics. Less aquatic, but that body odor smell could worry you. But this is slightly more complex than the other releases I've talked about. So number 8, Cartier Declaration Parfum. Very good release. Next one, number 7. This is a turnaround story. Last year, I gave it a scathing review. It was not even in my top 10. It is YSL's Y Parfum. Good fragrance. A blue scent with a bit of sex appeal. And why? Because they've added a couple of notes, tweaked a few things, and just modified the errors they had made. The EDT is insignificant, but this one adds a refreshing apple and juniper. So fruity spiciness along with the original, the blue scent DNA. And the result is quite an amazing scent. The opening is spectacular, and this is the only fragrance which I've tested on my colleagues. And the lady who always volunteers to give me comments about my fragrance, she instantly liked it. So this is going to be one of those fragrances that might get you a lot of compliments, especially on a night out. Cold weather night out. This is good release, solid release. Liked it. Number 6, just outside the top 5, is a Tom Ford. Tom Ford Ombre Leather. Great. This is the manliest fragrance released this year of everything I've smelled. What a beautiful scent this is. The only problem is the dry down. So what they've done is they've taken the Tuscan leather DNA, removed the fruity notes, i.e. blackcurrant, wasn't it? Raspberry. Raspberry has been removed, and they've introduced a fantastic amber, which is golden hued amber. Beautiful, deep, lovely amber, and a fabulous jasmine right in the middle. And when you first smell it, this smells amazing, guys. And the first few hours of this fragrance is just amazing. This fizzles out in its dry down. The leather is very coarse, yeah, and it just doesn't smell as nice as it normally does in the first few hours. On paper, it smells amazing. So I advise you to spray it on your clothes rather than on your skin. Stunning release by Tom Ford, Ombre Leather at number 6. So, time for the top 5, and these are really good. So let's start. Number 5. This is X Factor fragrance, Aramis, and it's called Tobacco Reserve. Beautiful. A creamy, spicy tobacco scent. Wow. And it's got stellar performance. Probably one of the most beast mode fragrances this year. This year's best release in terms of beast mode performance. Extremely strong. And the tobacco is fine tobacco, but it's slightly green. And it reminded me of a fragrance which I have reviewed before, and it is L'Occitane Eau de Beau. Now this one has also got vanilla. So it's a spicy tobacco, creamy tobacco with a vanilla base. I'm going to do a full review soon, but this is one of the most unique smells, if you like, and it's not a flanker of this year. That's why it's so high up. Number 5, Tobacco Reserve by Aramis. Next on my list is a fragrance that I really enjoy. It uses notes of Tolu balsam, but I think it mentions coumarin, I believe, as well. But it smells like a cinnamon-based fragrance which has got a leathery texture. It is Givenchy Gentleman EDP. Fabulous fragrance. This and Prada Luna Rossa Black have some similarities, yeah? But this is more refined, it smells complex, it's got a lot of depth, it's very, very elegant. It's an outstanding fragrance for people who like their fragrances to speak out in terms of gentlemanly qualities, you know. This is very refined. This is not a screecher, this is not a blue scent. I love this. That's why I got a full bottle of it. I'll do a full review soon. Number 4, Givenchy Gentleman. So time for top 3. And these 3 are stunning. If you want to just prioritize your expenses and get the best releases of 2018, these 3 might interest you in testing. Number 3 is 1 Million Lucky. Boys, fabulous. It's stunning fragrance, really. It's been crafted beautifully. It uses one art of perfumery, and that is superior blending, to create one of the best flankers of 1 Million. Yeah, the bubblegum vibe is toned down a little bit. It's just a fantastic fragrance with fantastic performance. It's got that 1 Million DNA, but the bubblegum vibes are toned down. So it's not juvenile, it doesn't screech out, scream out. It's just a very refined, sweet smell. But the sweetness is again sort of controlled. Everything is beautifully blended. One of the top releases this year. I'm going to do a full review, so I'm going to save most of my words for that full review. But if you're looking for a beautiful, refined, classy evening scent, cold weather, 1 Million Lucky should be high up in your list. Very, very nice. I really enjoyed it. I like the 1 million as well. I like Privé as well. But this one is superb. One of the best. Top 2. This one I've reviewed and it shouldn't be a surprise. It's one of the best releases of 2018. It's Bleu de Chanel Parfum. What a fine fragrance this is, guys. Absolute niche quality. There's a beautiful synthetic sandalwood which has been used along with lemon zest or lime zest, pineapple. So it's taken the DNA of the original, toned down a few things. It's not as angular as the EDT. And what they've created is a very refined citrus fruity smell which has tremendous sex appeal. Outstanding, really. It smells like a niche really. I mean, one of my subscribers, Rex, called it a younger cousin of Elysium by Rossa. He's not wrong. It's like, it's got that kind of an appeal to it. Very attractive. I would highly recommend you test it. Some people have reported performance issues. I don't get any performance issues. It lasts beautifully on my skin, projects beautifully. And in fact, I've tested it in crowded areas and the people, especially younger girls, just give you fantastic reactions. Do check out my full review. It is, I've tried to do, justice to this amazing release of 2018. So fellas, time for number 1. Number 1 release is Prada L'Homme Low. Now, this is a cut above the rest. Probably this and Bleu de Chanel Parfum are just stunning. What this is iris, neroli, ambery, sandalwood, powdery notes. It's just so refined. It smells like a shimmery suede-like fragrance with amazing elegance and charm. It's just one of those fragrances that's a must-have. Do test it out. This is a spectacular fragrance, guys. And it's an all-weather fragrance, highly versatile, great performance, and great composition. One of the best. It'll always be in my collection. Yeah? And I have got no hesitation in saying that this is the best release of 2018. So, we've come to the end of the video. I would love to know what you think should be in the top 5 releases of 2018 if you disagree with this list. And I'd like to know which ones you've tried. Hopefully, you like the review. Take care. Bye-bye.